Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This time we're gonna take a look at another camera. Uh, Actually Yashica FX3 Super 2000. This is a very special camera for me because this is my first camera that my dad bought me a camera back then in 1987 when I first learned photography. Um, yeah, so this bring a lot of memories. Back then I was using it with the Kodak uh, handbook, photography handbook, and learn photography with a lot of its tricks and techniques, I guess. Then my first camera broke. The mirror broke inside the camera. The single lens reflect mirror broke, and I unable to fix it and send it to the serviceman. I don't know where the camera then it's gone. And in 2015, when I go back into film photography, this is the camera that I should bought. I promised myself to bought this camera because it's bring a lot of memories. Okay, so without further ado, let's take a deep dive on this camera. Okay, so this camera, I think it's a very light camera because the body itself is made of mostly plastic with several metal only in a lens mount and several frame, I guess, but that's it. The rest is actually mostly plastic. The hinge and several pressure plate, I guess, is metal, but yeah, mostly plastic. So it is cheap, relatively affordable because it's plastic also, but it's also lightweight. So let me detach the lens first. So this is the Yashica FX3 Super 2000. The camera itself initially produced in 1979, produced by Cosina and then marketed by Yashica. Back then it's only FX3. Then come out FX3 Super with adding this hand grips, so it's adding comfort and control, and then continued with FX3 Super 2000 back in 1986 with an addition of the shutter speed. Back then FX3 only has 1000 second maximum shutter speed, but with FX3 2000 FX3 Super 2000, it increased the shutter speed into 1000 second shutter speed. So it's bring to a comparable modern film SLR at that time. This camera regarded as entry level because it's more affordable compared to Nikon or Canon series, which is more expensive. Even the semi-pro are quite expensive. This one I think is, I forget the price though, but it's quite more affordable definitely because it's lightweight and plasticky things being used. If you can see on top of the camera, it has a shutter speed and the ASA. So shutter speed from bulb 1 second to I think it's 1 second, right? I forgot. No, yeah, 1 second and 1/2 second. This is 1/4 second, and 1/8, 1/15, 1/30, 1/16, 125 second, and then up to 100 2000 per second. Inside the dial, there's a ASA dial, so it has minimum, or the lowest is 25 ASA. You can use a very low speed films for more details if you want to. Very nice. I'm using some of it. I forgot the brand though. I'm using 25 ASA black and white. Very good retention of details. And also you can use high speed film up to 3200 ASA. So for indoor during concerts, if you want to use a decent speed to capture the moments, yes, you can use high speed films. So this is very useful range of 25 to 3200 ASA for entry level camera. So yeah, so it's pretty good. The lever is actually 130 degree pull back on this winder, cocking the lever mechanism for the film. It has threaded shutter button, so you can put a cable release if you want to use bulb mode and want to hold it using the cable. You can do that, or you can add some, let's say I got some accessories. For example, if you want to just show you nice things to got several here. If you want to add let's say yeah, something like this, very nice, right? So that is quite a nice accessories, or you can use cable release. I got the red one or the black one if you want to. That's for Hasselblad. Yeah. So this one is interesting accessories, right? Okay, so this is a film frame indicators. The problem here, there's no lock on the shutter button, right? So once you cock the lever, you can accidentally press it if you leave in your pocket or jacket or bag, whatever. So be careful with this because there's no locking mechanism. So very simple, not even multi exposures available. So it's very basic. Even my Ricoh GX1 that I have just reviewed previously, it has multi exposures features, right? This one doesn't have any. So it's very basic, and you have only a manual mode setting. So let me put this lens. So you only able to shoot manually. So you have to be able to set the right speed or the speed that you want to, and trying to adjust the aperture accordingly. The good thing is has a light meter inside, but it's very simple. The light meter is actually through the lens light meter, so everything will be through the lens, including the viewfinder. So the viewfinder also quite decent. It's actually 0.91 times coverage, quite bright, quite okay. It has a split focusing screen. It has a light meter inside using a plus, a dot, and a minus. So the plus and minus has a red color LED, but the dot or the round indicator has a green. So if you manage to adjust the exposure right, it will show green when you half press it. The battery is dead now, but yeah, if you half press it, it will measure the exposure and try to get a green at least, and then you can adjust the green plus or the green minus to over or under exposure. So you can do a green and the red plus to have a half overexposure, or the green and minus red to get half underexposures. Okay, so half stop underexposure. So that's how you measure the exposures. I think if you are plus or minuses, it doesn't tell you how many stop over or how many underexposed. So unfortunately, that's very basic light meters. That's how you do manual exposure here. At least you got the meters at hand if you want to do the photo shoot. It is powered by two LR 44. So it's very definitely it's easy to find battery so you don't use a fancy mercury type kind of battery. So yeah, so it's very definitely come on, it's very difficult to, and it has tripod mount and film release switch. Okay, so this is a stack type, so it's stacked together, the plus in the bottom and the minus on top, so you can see it here. Oh, sorry, I got it wrong. So it has to be the other way around. So let me see. Yeah, actually correct. So something like this. Yep. So the plus should be on top. I think the battery is already dead here. Tried to take a look at the meter last time. Doesn't work. So coin is very handy for film photography because you put a lot of battery. And let me check. Oh yeah, it's light up. So I don't think you can see inside the viewfinder here. Yeah, it's quite difficult to see. Yeah, I think it's actually in the corner of it. Yeah, you can probably see the, yeah, there's a LED, right? So it's overexposures. Let me try to, no. I think because I put a lot of, high ASA. Let me put it at 400 and yeah, so it's some green. If you can see, you can find some green inside. So you see, yeah, there's a green dot. Yeah, said it's a green dot. But if you, let's say, make it overexposed, it will be red plus. Yeah, that's a red plus. And you put it under exposure, there will be minus and green dot, so it's light up together. So those that is how you mirror inside this FX3 Super 2000s. What else? Oh yeah, I got 3 lenses for from Yashica. This one is Yashica lens ML 28mm, so it's quite wide, not as wide as 23, but it's quite wide compared to 35, for example. Maximum aperture is 2.8 for this lens. This is a metal body. For the initial purchase that my father bought it back then in 1987, I was having a 35 to 70 millimeters zoom lens. That's plastic body, so it's very cheap. This one is metal version. I don't know, ML is supposed to be metal. Yeah, and there's another version of C and DSB versions of it. So I got 50 mil. I got 135 mil Yashica lens DSB. Actually, I got more lens. I just forgot. Let me check. Yeah, I got 4 lens at least. Yashica lens DSB, 135 millimeters. I got 50 mil lens with 2 aperture maximum 2. So the 135 is also good at 2.8. For those focal length with 2.8 was giving you a lot of bokeh. The 50 mil, it's down to 2 aperture of 2, so it's very good also, quite wide opening. This lens is maximum 2.8, as I mentioned, maximum 16 f16, and ML zooms 35 to 70 only give you 3.5 to 4.8 aperture minimums up to 22. So those zoom lenses are pretty okay for walk around, but for special you need a better lens, like 135 for portrait or 50 for kind of portrait and normal lens, and 28 like this for street photography and general cityscape or something like that. So it's pretty okay. So the lens itself has metal body, minimum 0.3 focusing up to infinity, and there's also a depth of field marking here to show you if, let's say, 5.6 aperture, I can get up to, let's say I'm focusing at 2 meter, I can get up to 4 meters and down to, let's say, 1.3 meters, kind of quite significant depth of field at that far away, at 2 meters away from me at 5.6. But if I move to 2.8, you basically get almost very thin depth of field of almost like 30 centimeters only. So it's very useful for creating bokeh and something like that if you want that effect. Opening the lens, of course, pushing this button and then twist it to the left or counterclockwise and trying to mount it, I guess, trying to mark the red into the red over there, and twist it to the right. This is timer. Okay, I think around 8 to 10 seconds. What else? That's it. There's no other features. So basically this camera, yeah, so that's it. So this is very basic camera, manual operations, no aperture priority, no shutter speed priority or whatever, auto. So basically only manual. So you really for entry level, this is for student learning photography, probably it's a good way to understand the exposure, creating using Sunny 16 method, or trying to get a feel on what is the right combination of shutter speed, apertures, and ASA to get nice pictures. This is my favorite camera actually. I've been using it during my hobby in the film photography quite sometimes, for a walk around or going around bringing a camera. It's very light, compact camera compared to Nikon, for example, or Canon version. Okay, so this is a good camera. What else that I forgot to mention? I think, yeah, so the light mirror is quite limited. ASA is quite good. Speed is quite okay with 1 to 200 with 2000 of second. The other things that I forgot, it's having a hot shoes and the synchronized speed at 1 to 125th a second. So this give you sufficient flash operations, but not as good as probably Nikon with higher synchronized speed. The lens, the lens that I'm using right now, it has 7 element in 6 group. So it's quite okay. It's quite a modern lens, I guess, in its era. So pretty good and pretty sharp. Oh, forgot. Let me show you. I think I got the film inside. So it's wrong, but it's a dummy film anyway. So let me press this button and then take out the film. Okay, and pull this tab out of the slots and then pull it up to open up the lid, and you can see inside it's pretty clean. Sometimes there's an oil over here in the shutter, so it should be okay. But this is a focal plane, vertical focal plane, so it's going up and folded up, folded down. It's pretty clean, mostly plastic, except for this metal pressure, film pressure metal plate. The foam is still pretty decent. So this one is a keeper for me, and I can try to install film like this and put it into the slot. Very simple, very basic stuff. Okay, and that's it. Close it. That's it. It's used a fox leather. It's pretty okay. Some in the front is already peeled off, so I glued it back, but pretty decent. Yeah, it's an old camera, vintage. Usually the leather covering is usually peeled off. By the way, this is initially Cosina, but then in 1986 this Yashica Cosina has been bought by Kyocera anyway, so they changed into Kyocera, although the brand is still Yashica. What else did I forgot to mention? I think that's it. And you can put some eye cup, because there's a slot here, or some there's no adjustment for your eye, unfortunately, because it's basic. Yep, so that is Yashica FX3 2000s. If you want to, oh, by the way, I lost a cap here. It's supposed to be a leather cover here. Yeah, I got the other one covered, but this one is already broken. So you can visit my website, Philosophy of Grain. It is in Bahasa, of course, but I think it's supposed to be able to be translated. Unfortunately, I cannot find the setting. Anyway, you can set in English, so it's going to be translated automatically. You can find all the information that I mentioned here, and also several sample here. I'm going to show you more sample from now, just now. And here the small table of specification if you want to know the things that I've mentioned before. It's all here, and also several links with the other reviewer and some other users that I've also found very useful. The thing, there's a Flickr site that I'm, you can visit my Flickr albums, and you can find my film shooting. Mostly everything is film here. I have another one for digital, but this one is for films. You can find down below the Yashica here mostly. Here I'm using Yashica FX3 2000 using Fuji Acros 100. It's very sharp film. So you can see here, it's pretty sharp. I think this is just the digitalization, but the real film is pretty sharp. I have my own masters in film, so yeah. So I think I uploaded into, I forgot the resolution of this digital file. So yeah, so basically it's so I'm using a free version anyway. So this one is using Acros 100 when I was mountain biking, so I bring it along. I'm not worried it's broke, it can damage, because it's quite affordable. So yeah, so this one is a very nice photo shoot at a time. Also, I think, let me go back. I'm using Yashica FX3 Super with Burger 400, processed with Kodak D786. I process my film myself. This one is also indoor, so you can see it's pretty sharp. The grain is also cool in bringing up the sharpness from this film. This is indoor, and I managed to focus pretty well. And I got a lot of keeper in this photo shoot. My wife and my youngest daughter. So it's very nice. I'm gonna show you this one. So here you can see either I'm using 135mm Yashica DSB, or either 50mm with maximum aperture opening. So you can see a lot of good bokeh behind her. Okay, so that is quite nice for this SLR cheap camera, affordable camera. So you can get a pretty definitely good bokeh out of the not so expensive lens. So this one is mostly outdoor and indoor. The other one should be this one. So using Aqua Color 400. I got another one actually using Kodak 200, but I cannot find it. So this one is using color film. It's also pretty sharp and with good bokeh, I guess. I think using either 135 or 50 mil lenses. You have to be careful on focusing. This one is a bit out of focus. I assume that I'm focusing somewhere else. But this one is pretty good focusing. I managed to focus on the face rather than the leaf here. So get a lot of very good, nice compression here. Yeah, so you can see the stone is out of focus and this one is out of focus except my daughter's face. So pretty nice lens also equipped with this camera. Yeah, so using Aqua Color 400. Even the indoor is actually pretty good. It's pretty sharp with a lot of grain to support it, to support the sharpness, to create the sharpness, I guess. Yeah, so this is several examples of using the camera itself, but yeah, and you can find more in my website anyway, so please feel free to visit here. And there's another film gear. You can select Yashica FX3 and some other. I got this special camera, of course. I already sold it anyway, so I regret it, but hey, this camera is very unique. So I got the Hasselblad and other camera. We'll probably take a look at it. But this one I already created a review. And yeah, I will take a look at Olympus 35 SPN, also special camera for me. Yeah, so that's it. So hopefully you can find some informations, and hopefully you've been triggered back to the film again like me before. So yeah, so that's it on my review of Yashica FX3 Super 2000 series. See you around.